All right. So Revenge was released in July of 2022. Since then, based on polling and media coverage, how would you describe the trajectory of Harry and Meghan's reputations professionally and personally? It feels like they've taken quite a bit of a dive.
Tom Bower, who has been working on the sequel to Revenge for some time, has secured a big money serialization deal with Rupert Murdoch's News UK, specifically the Times newspaper, but I believe it may also extend to the Sun newspaper too, to reveal the first bombshells from his book, which is expected to further damage the Madam of Montecito.
How desperate was Meghan Markle to be famous? Well, apparently, according to Tom Bower's book, she basically spent seemingly all her money with the sole goal of intention of finding the right connections and being as famous as humanly possible.
You write in the book, Harry must be nuts. This is one of the text messages his friends were sending around to each other after Meghan's first introduction to Harry's friends in 2017 during a shooting weekend at Sandringham.
I think personally, they've separated their professional lives. But I think what's really a great problem for them now, as of in the last few weeks, is that Meghan has got no real income anymore. She's finished.
It certainly brings to light that whole theory of you put a frog in boiling water, it jumps straight out. But if you put a frog in cold water, it will slowly boil to death. And I think a lot of people, whilst myself hasn't actually been really shocked by the revelations, because I was aware of, I'd say, most of them.
And so he became hypersensitive and blamed the media for the crashes of his relationships, never thinking that they could have something to do with himself. So he's a very complicated, depressed, unintelligent man who is seeking a role and has got really nobody on whom he could rely, which is in the end where Meghan stepped in. I mean, a needy man met a woman who could help him with his needs. But I do think that when you're mocked so publicly as they've been, their value begins to nosedive pretty quickly. And I don't think they're finding any more sources of income.
Following Tom Bower's recent announcement, Meghan Markle is in complete fear that the investigative biographer who revealed them in his best-selling book Revenge from 2022 is back. Revenge 2 is the name of the follow-up. Tom Bower claims to have material that they are unable to spin away this time. He was able to land a huge serialization contract with the Times, the Sun, and News UK week after week. Bombshell after bombshell hits the newsstands, when Hollywood defenders and streaming deals were still in place. His first book was released. After everything fell apart, Revenge number 2 is on the horizon, following their termination by Spotify, Netflix's demise, and $23 million in unsold jam. However, Meghan should be most afraid of this.
That is the picture Tom Bower paints in about the first 100 or so pages of his new book about Harry and Meghan. And so, guys, I'm going to just share with you a couple of the insights that I saw and some of the huge warning signs about who Meghan is and her intentions and how really this whole thing with her and Harry will absolutely end in tears.
Tom Bower is covering more than simply company failures. He is looking into the queries. For years, everyone has been asking. The yacht years, the Soho House connections, the age discrepancies, the pregnancy controversies. Tom Bower is no longer recording false. There is nothing left to conceal during this autopsy.
I think it's going to be explosive because Meghan Markle can't control this narrative. Tom Bower is incredibly well respected. And at the end of the day, we want the truth, and we can't get the truth from the Royal Rota. We can't get the truth from Meghan Markle or Prince Harry. They are pathological liars. They cherry pick what they want to believe or what they want us to believe.
Listen carefully if you don't know Tom Bower. The Witchfinder is the name of this individual. Biographers in general. He has authored more than 25 unapproved biographies of some of Britain's most influential figures. Boris Johnson, Simon Cowell, Prince Charles, Robert Maxwell, Richard Branson, and Tony Blair. His approach is straightforward. Identify the individuals his subjects are reluctant to speak with.
Well, he just found her just too vain and too self-interested, which seems like he met his own match.
But in the end, Simon doesn't really like many celebrities. I noticed when I went with him to the Oprah Winfrey Show and many other places around Hollywood and elsewhere, he's a rather shy guy. He's always afraid of being associated with people who are bigger than him or who might put him in the shade.
Next, get them to speak. His initial work on the Sussexes rose to the top of the global bestseller list. There are 80 sources on file, extensive study, forensic analysis, and sources who had previously remained silent now speaking forward. And this is the reason Meghan finds Tom Bower so threatening. Tom Bower was never successfully sued, even though her attorneys kept a close eye on everything he did. Never. Why? Since Tom Bower completes his assignments. He works with court records, tax filings, documents, sources, and evidence. Cases that stand up in court are the foundation of his reputation. Tom Bower has made numerous trips to the US and Canada for revenge too. He witnessed the Invictus Games firsthand. He has spent years developing this case. I have a lot of new material already, and I think the whole world wants new insights, he stated in interviews. The book is released in early 2026. Harry and Meghan have no influence over this story.
The Sun and the Times did not do a deal with Tom Bower for his book on the Beckhams. And it was because those two newspapers are in the pockets of the Beckhams. They didn't want to run negative revelations about the Beckhams. I'm told that there is some disappointment from Bower that the Mail did not bid for Revenge Part 2, but of course that is because the Mail's coverage of Harry and Meghan is now corrupted because of the ongoing court case, which is still taking place in the High Court.
Due to ongoing legal proceedings, the Daily Mail did not submit a bid for the serialization. Instances. However, the Times and the Sun are unrestricted and prepared to publish anything. Let's begin with what Tom Bower saw firsthand. South Park releases the episode about their global privacy tour in February 2023. And since South Park revealed what everyone was thinking but no one in the mainstream media would say, Tom Bower will have a field day with this. The Canadian prince and princess, who are unable to stop talking about their trauma to everyone, yearned for seclusion in the episode. Does that sound familiar? However, this is the instance that caused the internet to crash. Meghan shared an actual video that served as the basis for the episode. Harry awkwardly stood behind her as she recorded herself dancing in a hospital room while 9 months pregnant.
Sometimes, I don't know, words seem superfluous really. Meghan shared that bedside twerking video, taken shortly apparently before she gave birth to Lilibet. Remember the child that she named after the Queen's private nickname that was given to by Duke of Edinburgh, without getting permission from the Queen.
Your opinion is irrelevant because I'm a baby mama. I can do just what I want. Turn up.
Sometimes I'm not sure. Words appear she believed it to be uplifting and relatable, but South Park disagreed. The scene was animated by them. That's right. Meghan dances, the huge bump appears, and then the baby bump abruptly drops to the ground. Cushion. The internet as a whole went viral. There are tons of reenactments on TikTok. Respect for our privacy quickly gained popularity.
It's uncomfortable. I don't think, because she's done this before for photos, I don't think that is a real baby bump. I think
way too big. It's way too big.
And sort of too low as well.
Yeah, it's like a metre out there. I mean, It looks the wrong shape.
Where's she going to give birth there? Through her knees or something? I mean, that is too...
Why are we so mad today? Because we want our privacy.
Park County Police Station, what's your emergency?
Yeah, the neighbors across the street are setting off fireworks and it's 10:30 at night.
Oh, is it the Prince of Canada and his wife who just want to be left alone?
Yes, they're being super loud and I'm trying to work on my brand.
The scene from the computer database displayed Meghan's profile with 4 words that permanently damaged her brand. Victim, influencer, actress, and sorority girl. According to reports, Meghan's team attempted to cancel the show before it aired. They were unable to. Lawyers are also present in South Park. Satire. It is speech that is protected. In real time, Tom Bower recorded the cultural impact. He observed the response from Hollywood. Variety was informed by a studio executive that no one wants that kind of circus. However, Tom Bower also has a deeper understanding. Only when it mirrors what others already think can satire be effective. These doubts weren't raised by South Park. They gave them life. Tom Bower is currently looking into the validity of those suspicions.
I feel like the focus is starting to shift off of me. Maybe in editing you'll fix it.
Okay, then you must be in the national system. Oh yeah, is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim. Yeah, that's totally me!
This is the explosive part of Revenge too. For many years, inconsistencies in Meghan's pregnancy photographs have been questioned by online researchers. Every theory is known to Tom Bower. Images where the hump occurs in various sizes on the same day. Videos that appear to have a bump. Hours after allegedly giving birth, woman was seen leaving the hospital wearing heels. The way she stooped during specific occasions. Due to British privacy rules, Tom Bower has now admitted in interviews that he left out certain details regarding her personal life from the first book. Here's what has changed, though. Tom Bower has been gathering documentation for 3 years and is currently working with American publications and American legal requirements. The queries, according to reports, Tom Bower is looking into it. Why weren't any pictures taken inside the hospital? Why were the birth announcements made at such an odd time? Why do certain images depict what critics refer to as anatomical impossibilities?
She was never pregnant at all. Instead, the videos embolden conspiracy theorists. They're calling it Megspiracy, and the pair are being subjected to yet more merciless ridicule. For Harry and Meghan, it's more a case of never reign and never abstain, especially when it comes to nauseating self-publicity, which invariably backfires.
Tom Bower is aware that even his first book's publishers were shocked by certain of his findings. He had to deal with readers who were sensitive to claims of racism. However, accusations have no bearing on tax paperwork. Paper traces are left by medical records. Certificates of birth are public records. Tom Bower is not accusing anyone. He documents inconsistencies so that people can make their own judgments. He cannot be sued because of this. According to reports, Tom Bower has been looking into something that most people are unaware of. Meghan's actual age. According to official records, she was born in 1981. Today, she would be 43 years old.
Meghan Markle is lying about her age. In fact, they think she's older. And not a surprise here because, yeah, she lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling.
However, researchers have discovered that previous casting records, IMDb profiles, and interviews listed various birth years. A few displayed 1978, a few displayed 1979. Why is this important? Because age is crucial in Hollywood. The chances for a failing actress in her late 20s are much different from those of an actress in her mid-30s. For someone who is frantically attempting to build a name for themselves, cutting a few years off would make sense. Most people don't have access to the records that Tom Bower does. Original agency records prior to being scrubbed, early casting sheets, and school enrollment documents. It has been stated that he has been comparing timelines. The math becomes intriguing if records indicate that Meghan attended Northwestern when she graduated from high school. Tom Bower isn't asserting anything. He is recording inconsistencies. And Tom Bower thrives on contradictions.
Putting her full official name of Rachel Meghan Markle, you can see that the official records show she was born in 1981. There it is, August 4th, 1981. If you go over on Google, is she lying about her age? It currently says August 4th, 1981, that she is 41. Well, she would be 42 today. But is this true? And that she was 21 years old at the time of publication. That would make her birth year at around 1976. However, why is it saying here she was born 5 years later in 1980?
We now address the queries that have been raised by everyone from the start. Soho House is the subject of an investigation by Tom Bower for many years. He is aware of how exclusive Soho House is. The fee of membership is thousands. It is significantly more expensive to enter the inner circles. Harry referred to it as her spare headquarters. How did a struggling actress with modest TV money get unlimited access to the most exclusive private clubs in the world? is the question posed by Tom Bauer. Marcus Anderson, the head of worldwide membership for Soho House, is the subject of his attention. Tom Bauer discovered something intriguing. Every time Meghan moved, Anderson relocated to a different city. Los Angeles, New York, London, Toronto, and lastly California.
Now, Marcus started off at Soho House London as a waiter, and he worked his way up. Now, this is an astounding story in itself. He worked his way up to global membership director, and he was a global membership director when he first met Meghan. Now, his job was to go to a new city wherever they were opening up a new Soho House, and his job was to find the best and the brightest of that city to invite to the founding members party. And they didn't just invite anybody. To be a founding member, you really had to be somebody in the social scene of the city where they were opening up. Now, it always worried me that all of the biographers that have done books on Meghan Markle, and also a lot of people that have done interviews and magazine articles, sort of imply that just because she was in Suits, that was how she met Marcus Anderson in Canada. And that always worried me because I knew that in those early seasons of Suits, they pretty much weren't on the map with many people. And I couldn't see that Marcus Anderson would necessarily meet her.
Anderson was photographed by Tom Bauer at their wedding as VIP is a distinguished visitor, not merely a friend. Then there are the accusations about the yacht. Photos purportedly depicting Meghan on opulent yachts with affluent older men prior to her meeting Harry have been making the rounds on the internet for years. Tom Bauer is now aware that certain pictures were mislabeled. Tom Bauer is aware that the pattern of billionaire access is still unclear, even though internet researchers made some mistakes. At first, her suit salary was about $50,000 per episode. Good money, but not enough for a private plane, a fancy outfit, or a party on a Saint Trape yacht. Tom Bauer wants to know who supported her lifestyle prior to Harry.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time? There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s. Wow.
We have Alice of the Castle with the view of the recent Rogan's comments on Meghan Markle. Many of you have seen this picture already. You see that there's Meghan with her Cajuna hat. I always forget the name of that kind of hats.
Before Harry, Piers Morgan allegedly displayed pictures of Meghan at private events on his show. Images that increased Yuri's. One important aspect of Meghan's response that Tom Bauer saw was her quiet. A letter to her father prompted her to file a lawsuit after Oprah. She grumbled about her peers. She threatened to sue over innumerable stories. But these images, these accusations, nothing. Tom Bauer believes that strategic silence is evidence that should be looked into. People who knew her during those years went to those parties and saw things are said to have spoken with him. Furthermore, NDAs expire.
Piers Morgan has zero love for Meghan Markle. He has made that quite clear. But apparently he took his Meghan obsession too far. And you know what? The Duchess has struck back.
Sure did. And that may be why he's out of a job now. But Piers is doubling down.
Meghan's Netflix series, released to the world this morning, is packed with, well, not really revelations, are they? It's sort of rehashed old revelations with a new twist. As it turns out, we've apparently been wrong all along. Britain is a nasty, racist hellhole where only magnificent Meghan stood up to all this, and the world's biggest victims are not the people of Ukraine.
Her worst business catastrophe is already being chronicled in real time by Tom Bauer. Meghan launches American in April 2024 Chard Riviera. She rushes to Harper's Bazaar and claims that everything is suddenly sold out. The headline in Harper's Bazaar reads, Meghan's jam sells out in hours. It was constantly reiterated by the media. Sold out. Enormous demand. Meghan triumphs once more. Tom Bauer, however, is aware of the reality. Her website has a bug discovered by a Reddit user. The website displays the precise inventory counts when you add 100,000 items to your shopping. Tom Bauer has the actual information. There are 23 million unsold items in warehouses.
As an internet glitch on Meghan Markle's website has revealed more than she probably ever wanted people to know about how poorly her business is performing. Yes, oh yes, she tried to really promote last year that As Ever was this massive success. It was selling out left, right, and center. But just, about 8, 9, 10 months in, we see a very different picture.
$6 million in spreads alone, or 137,000 packs of fruit spreads. Every day, she sells 0.03% of her whole stock. 26 jars were sold in a single day. According to Tom Bower's calculations, it will take 9 years to clear inventory at current rate. These products are perishable. They will run out. They will decay. Millions of dollars are actually being thrown away. Tom Bower will reveal the specifics of what transpired. She comprehended units on purpose, manufactured a false sense of scarcity before ordering a further 150,000 units based on the sold-out headlines. She conned the media into giving her free publicity for a huge order that she was unable to sell.
She sells 0.03 of her overall stock every day. Now, for a big company, I can maybe somewhat understand that because they're so big, they have so much it's sort of understandable, but I really feel like that is way too much for a small, struggling business. Nobody gave a crap about the box. And Meghan Markle's, I think, whole idea that this was going to be the box was going to be a huge thing. It's a normal box. And I have her dumb keepsake thing from the spread that she forced us to buy for the first round, and it's useless. And so she was kind of a dummy and wildly overstocked the box.
The $200 subscription boxes, the candles without wicks, and the jams produced in an Illinois facility while she claimed to prepare them in her kitchen at home. The entire scam is being documented by Tom Bower. She is currently publishing a cookbook with recipes that, according to critics, are strikingly similar to those of Martha Stewart. Tom Bower is aware that Martha's group is keeping a careful eye on him. Tom Bower will be present to record the events that follow if that one-pot pasta is published. However, the Archroll Foundation is Tom Bower's most explosive emphasis. He has their contribution records, 990 filings, and 2024 tax returns, and Tom Bower is about to reveal everything.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. And I don't mean this truly creepy new picture that Meghan Markle has just released, looking stalker-like. Apparently that is to promote As Ever. But what I'm actually talking about is the fact that Ms. Markle herself should be afraid, because I can reveal Tom Bower.
The figures are heartbreaking. $5.1 million was spent in total. $2.1 million in total donations were received. That saw loss of $3 million in a single year. While donations fell 60% year over year, expenses rose 54% from $3.3 million to $5.1 million. Where did the funds disappear to? Salary totaling $913,000 for 2 employees. That amounts to about $500,000 per person. $2.9 million in additional costs. Tom Bower is aware of what that label usually conceals. Lifestyle expenses, luxury lodging, private travel, and security are all funded by a tax-exempt charity. In the meantime, $1.25 million in actual charitable gifts. The math of Tom Bower is easy. They spent $5 million. They donated $1 million to worthwhile charities. Their effort was financed by the others. They were deemed delinquent by California. According to reports, the IRS is looking into this. As soon as they came under examination, they quickly changed their name to Archwell Philanthropies and adopted a fiscal sponsorship strategy.
New York Post reporting that indeed it is now operating as all smoke and mirrors. Sarah Nathan, who is their editor-at-large, said that Harry and Meghan have been forced to downsize the staff as it was costing them so much. The big question was, would Archwell close or would another charity take over? Harry and Meghan were looking to get a fiscal sponsor, someone to take on the outgoing costs and to keep things cheap. Really, it's all smoke and mirrors. Page 6 confirmed that 3 members, 60% of the charity staff, have now been let go. But of course, what this tax information really reveals is that they are using Archewell to fund their lifestyle, not to change the world, because the security bill alone said to be around $2 million a year, with money flowing out of the charity. So Archewell actually recorded total expenses of $5.1 million, according to its latest 990 form. Salaries for 2024 were listed at $913,000. Expenses were up 54% year on year, soaring from $3.3 million. Other expenses recorded at $2.9 million. Meanwhile, donations and grants to the group dipped from $5.3 million in 2023 to $2.1 million in 2024. Insiders skeptical of how Archewell, which doled out $1.25 million in grants in 2024, can continue. The source said if they're shooting out grants, then that's a net loss and they're not bringing in that much money. So, Brittany, when you think about this, I believe it is clear exposure of what Archewell really is. A PR project. Nothing more. It's disgusting.
That is no coincidence, as Tom Bower is aware that's guilt consciousness. The operational costs of a respectable non-profit operate at about 10% of income. 250% of Archewell's income goes toward costs. The paperwork is with Tom Bower. The black and white documentation of charity fraud is in Tom Bower's possession. According to Tom Bower, the victims are eager to speak in 2022. He claims that they are now even better prepared. Their main propagandist, James Hole, escaped back to the United Kingdom after allegedly being forced to defend the Kardashian consent form story document that reportedly never existed. Meredith Maines, their PR chief, resigned. A total of 11 heads of staff have departed. 11. Because NDAs have expiration dates, confidentiality agreements have limitations, and those who were burnt are still waiting. Tom Bower is keeping track of every single one. After years of research, Tom Bower recorded their pattern. Burn bridges, alienate assistants, miss opportunities, place the blame elsewhere, and wait as each former employee's NDA expires. Tom Bower is gathering the stories of every business partner who was burnt, every old buddy who was dumped, and this time they aren't scared.
Meghan is a consummate survival actress. And you raise this extraordinary beginning of the year when she carved 2025 in the sand. And it's a very, very interesting image that it came out on New Year's Day this year, because the previous weeks had been absolutely turgid and torrid for her. She had been dubbed Duchess Difficult again. There have been allegations of bullying.
Tyrant and high heel. This collapse was foreseen in Tom Bower's debut book. Everything he said came to pass. He alerted them to the pattern. He was correct. Meghan is favored in the UK. 20%. Decreased from 55% in 2019. That is a drop of 45 points. Hollywood refers to her as a high-heeled dictator. Netflix plans to blow $23 million in jamrodding. Charity is being looked into by the federal government. Employees escaping back across the ocean. The credibility of Tom Bower has never been higher. Theirs is at its lowest point ever. Early release of Revenge 2, 2026. What they were doing was revealed in the first book. Their true selves will be revealed in Revenge 2. The yacht years, the age inquiries, the pregnancy scandals, the fraud involving charities, the business dilemmas, and the mistreatment of employees. It is not possible to sue Tom Bower over tax records. It is impossible to keep Tom Bower quiet regarding IRS investigations. Lawyers who have failed to stop Tom Bower once cannot intimidate him. Soon, the serialization will begin. The Sun, The Times. The countdown has begun following weeks of revelations. The author is Tom Bower. Tom Bower is looking into it. Everything is being documented by Tom Bower. This time, Meghan Markle has nowhere to hide from Tom Bower's investigation following South Park, the jam disaster, Archewell's exposure, the staff exodus, and the collapse of everything. The next Revenge 2 will be different.